On the 4th of August, 2020, a massive explosion tore through the Port of Beirut. It killed more than 218 people, injured around 7,000, and displaced nearly 300,000. In a matter of seconds, Beirut and the lives of its people changed forever. International media reported that the explosion began with a warehouse fire, which ignited a vast stockpile of ammonium nitrate. The highly explosive material had been improperly stored at Beirut's port for nearly 6 years. But what exactly is ammonium nitrate? And why is it so important to global food production? Ammonium nitrate is far older than modern agriculture. It was first synthesized in 1659, yet at the time, it was little more than a chemical curiosity. Not yet the fertilizer that would one day help transform global food production. But the decisive agricultural revolution came in the early 20th century. In 1913, the first industrial plant was operating, making it possible to manufacture enormous quantities of nitrogen fertilizers, including ammonium nitrate.
Today, as every day, our nation's farmers are hard at work. Their job is big. Their labors give us the raw materials to feed and clothe our people. And it takes a lot of work to feed and clothe all our people. It takes a lot of plant food to nourish our nation's crops. And the American farmer has learned to use commercial fertilizer to take care of these plant food needs. For these plant foods, our farmers have turned to the fertilizer industry, which each year manufactures millions of tons of fertilizer, representing an investment of over $1 billion. The fertilizer industry processes raw materials into finished fertilizers for farm use. Locked in these compounds, as they pour from the factory, are the primary plant foods needed by all growing plants. Synthetic nitrogen materials and natural nitrate of soda are imported by this country in substantial quantities. Various animal and vegetable products like the cottonseed shown here may be processed into nitrogen fertilizer.
Yet supplying crops with nitrogen is far less efficient than it may appear. Ammonium nitrate granules dissolve as water passes through the soil, separating into ammonium and nitrate ions. Some nitrogen moves toward fine root hairs and is absorbed, while highly mobile nitrate travels beyond the root zone with draining water. On average, crops recover only around half of the nitrogen applied to agricultural fields. The remainder may stay in the soil or escape into the environment. Nitrate can be washed below the root zone and into groundwater, or carried by surface runoff into rivers and lakes. Nitrogen can also escape into the atmosphere as ammonia or as nitrous oxide, a powerful and long-lived greenhouse gas. Inefficient nitrogen is therefore more than a waste of fertilizer and a waste of money. It can contaminate drinking water, fuel harmful algal blooms, and deprive aquatic ecosystems of oxygen. Across land, water, and atmosphere, escaped nitrogen can damage ecosystems and contribute to climate change. Nitrogen fertilizer helps feed the world, but when used excessively, it can become a hidden killer. Nitrate may accumulate in certain crops, particularly leafy vegetables. If nitrate-rich crops are used as animal feed, they can expose livestock to harmful levels of nitrate. However, these compounds do not normally pass directly into meat in significant amounts. Much of the nitrogen is transformed or excreted by the animal.
The consequences can already be measured in our water. Across the European Union, monitoring data from 2016 to 2019 showed that 14.1% of groundwater stations exceeded the maximum allowable nitrate concentration of 50 milligrams per liter. In Germany, the latest national indicator shows that the limit is still exceeded at roughly 1 in 6 monitoring points. In the United States, a nationwide assessment covering 1992 to 2004 found that more than 1 in 5 shallow domestic wells in agricultural areas exceeded the federal drinking water benchmark for nitrate.
Yet nitrogen cannot simply be removed from agriculture. Every crop needs it to produce chlorophyll, build proteins, and ultimately create the food we depend on. And as the global population continues to grow, farmers must produce more food from an increasingly limited area of productive land. The challenge, then, is not whether to use nitrogen, but how to use it more intelligently. One promising solution is intercropping. Instead of growing only a single crop, farmers can grow cereals such as maize, wheat, or barley alongside legumes like beans, peas, lentils, or faba beans. On the roots of these legumes are small structures called nodules. Inside them live specialized bacteria known as rhizobia. In partnership with the plant, these bacteria capture nitrogen gas from the atmosphere and convert it into ammonia, a form the legume can use to build proteins and grow. Scientists estimate that widespread cereal-legume intercropping could reduce synthetic nitrogen requirements by approximately 1/4 while maintaining productive farmland. The future may therefore lie not in forcing one crop to grow alone, but in designing communities of plants that cooperate below and above the soil. The story that began with an explosion in Beirut does not end at the port. It leads us to our farms, our water, and ultimately to the food on our tables. So now, we would like to hear your opinion. How can we feed a growing population without poisoning the natural systems that make food production possible? And are we prepared to redesign agriculture before the hidden costs become impossible to ignore? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe